in the dynamic of the understanding of the history of your species, if you can understand the dynamics of collective consciousness, if you can empathize, if you can imagine yourself in that place of belonging, that place of understanding, that place of knowing of your connection with all that is, with each other, with nature, if you can imagine that dynamic, then you can begin to get a touch on the severe trauma that occurred when you as a species lost that ability to connect on that level. It was a very traumatic dynamic. In the dynamic of the human experience, you know, we often ask the question, can a child die of a broken heart? And the answer is, of course, yes.
Yes.
A child can die of a broken heart if it were not for the defensive mechanism that is already in place. In the dynamic of one's initial wounding, one's initial connection with one's mother, and the realization that one is flooded with all of the fear, all of the identity, all of the beliefs of mother, at least in a very primal, imprinting sort of way, that level of shock, that level of fear that comes from that moment, the subconscious is the energy that steps in the way and creates a belief that says, it's not safe to love, or maybe it's just not safe. And it is that dynamic that one has to, that is imprinted within the dynamics of one system. And that dynamic of it's not safe, that belief, that core primal belief, creates a behavior that reinforces that belief. Because it's safer to reinforce that dynamic than to face the real fear in this circumstance, in this particular belief, the belief that it's not safe to love, to allow for real love in one's life. Real love, that dynamic of love freely given and received in every moment. So, this energy that developed from this dynamic is called negative ego. Negative ego is easy to spot because, as we said, it's always telling you about yourself or telling you about someone else. It has been the source of competition. It has been the source of competition and comparison. It has been the source of the Darwinian belief in survival of the fittest on all levels. Now, it's a pretty good model for certain dynamics of biodiversity, but we would suggest to you that for humanity, that whole dynamic of survival of the fittest doesn't really serve a thinking, feeling, supposedly intelligent species.
Yes.
Well, that's all she can say. All right. So